ARC. Our first guest is going to tell you a story of hope amidst self-destructive behaviors and the strength that he found in Jesus Christ to overcome. Would you welcome with me from Baltimore, Maryland, Mr. Monté Twilley.
Well, many of you probably didn't notice, but I actually was over here just lining through a lot of things. I got it wrong. I thought they had said that I was the guest speaker tonight. No, I'm just kidding. So we want to honor in terms of being, but I think I can just ad-lib just a little bit to share with you. In the 13 years that I've been associated with the ARC, Colonel and Mrs. Bell, I don't think anyone has probably enjoyed being involved in the ARC. Without a doubt, I'm told that Major Hogg is here tonight. At the time that I was fired in Salisbury, Maryland, he was the administrator or the Corps commander just coming in. I just want to let you know I want to see tonight, but you were absolutely right. The Smiths were the best thing since sliced bread, and I thank God for them and all the administrators that are sold into my life. I'm truly humbled tonight. Like many children of alcoholics, I had experienced my first drink as a teenager while routinely performing assigned tasks around the house. As a 13-year-old, I was responsible for several household chores, including the infamous trash detail. One of the many things that my parents had shared with me in terms of living on Maryland's Eastern Shore. One afternoon, while emptying the garbage, I had begun rummaging through two rusty containers located in the backyard. Liquor bottles that were left over from my parents' weekend get-together had begun spilling over into the ground. After carefully scrutiny, I found an empty bottle. I put it up to my lips. I quickly unscrewed the cap and placed the bottle to my lips. It was that time, that incident would soon set wheels into motion, what I called a roller coaster lifestyle, full of difficulties, disappointments. I would also establish a venue for a 30-year bout with alcohol and illicit drugs. Following my backyard experience, I began using marijuana along with alcohol, which would ultimately lead to my use of crack cocaine later into my adult life. Because of my drug use, I had difficulty coping with several job terminations, several business failures, yes, a divorce, and even a couple of arrests. Ironically, on Veterans Day now, Veterans Day of 1986, just 5 months after receiving an honorable discharge from the United States Army, police in Denver, Colorado had arrested me for domestic violence. It was my first arrest. I was married for 3 months, and a judge was already ordering me to anger management classes. My life was out of control. Several weeks before, I had ingested crack cocaine for the first time in my life. My addiction would last 10 years. While experiencing both highs and lows in my life, I eventually hit rock bottom. I tried overcoming numerous setbacks, false starts by thrusting myself into my work, as many of us would do. In 1989, just 2 years after moving to Southern California, I was homeless for the first time, living a while inside abandoned houses, infested with rats and roaches. I primarily supported myself with crack by selling blood plasma 3 times a week until the labs denied me because too much rice in my diet. Later on, while assignment in Germany, the Maryland Army National Guard, there were rumors that were surfacing because I was in the Salvation Army as the public relations guy at the time, and the Corps commander was faced with a very difficult dilemma at the time. Allow me to return as a spokesperson for the Salvation Army in the Eastern Shore, or face damaging the Salvation Army's pristine image. I ended up having to trade in my military fatigues when I came back from serving in Joint Endeavor for coveralls in the warehouse. No doubt, I had begun to be depressed again. I was desperate to return from active duty, wearing my old business suits and hobnobbing around town again. Once again, I reverted to drug use in February of 1997. However, it was not until I came to the Salvation Army, the Baltimore ARC, in March 13, 1997, that things started to take a turn around. Today, I serve as the executive administrator for a human resources firm, and in February of 2004, I formed the Twilly Group, which is a public relations consulting and motivational speaking firm specializing in serving nonprofits, small businesses, startups, as well as conducting training and motivational seminars at high schools, universities, corporations, and organizations. I was recently appointed to my steward board at my local church, and in the summer of 2009, just last year, I launched my It's About Time tour in hopes of inspiring people to follow their dreams and achieve their goals. Moreover, is that my goal is to actually go to every ARC throughout the nation. I believe there are about 150 of them, and I believe that that's one of the things that God has given me. No one loves the Salvation Army and the ARC as much as I do. I just truly thank God for it. I reside in Baltimore County, Maryland, and since God is a restorer, I've been remarried. Last March, my wife, Joan, and I celebrated our 9th wedding anniversary. Every day, I thank Almighty God. Thank you. I never thought that I would have gone to some of the things that I did. You know, I was a former Boy Scout, mom's apple pie, baseball games. But as a result, man, of what I went through, I'm truly humbled. This is a privilege. Each and every one of you could have the same opportunity, but I thank you, Colonel and Mrs. Bell, for giving that. And as I wrap up, I've learned so much about treatment from the program and the classes, the counseling sessions, the group therapy. However, what impressed me the most when I arrived at the doors at the ARC, March 13, 1997, that it's Christ-centered. And I tell you, that makes all the difference. God bless you all.